Welcome, viewers. In today's mathematics, we want to look at word problem translation blueprints, some of the dictionary translation codes, the examiner secret codes. In mathematics, word problem has become a very big problem to students across different levels. So let us look at some terms that are usually the examiners make use of. When we see a word like is, was, results in, normally when we see it in a question, what that means to us is the equality sign, equals to. When we see the word plus, some, more than, increased by, what the examiners expect you to use there is a plus sign. When we see the word product, of, multiplied by, and so on and so forth, the examiners expect you to multiply, to use times at that point. Then the unknown, maybe they say a certain number. When they are referring to a number that is not known, you can use any variable to hold it. But conventionally, most teachers and examiners uses letter X, okay? Therefore, these are the examiner's secret code. Let's see how we can use some of these terms and how they are used in questions. When a certain number, you can see now, a certain number is referred to. This means we do not know the number. Like I said, any variable can be used. But in this case, let us use that conventional letter X. Okay? When a certain number in this, you represent it, you underline it and label it with the letter X, is multiplied by 3. Can you see it now? Multiplied by 3. What this means, multiply times 3. Times 3. Now, what does it mean? You are multiplying that certain number that you do not know. That certain number, you have already represented it as letter X. So, in other words, you are multiplying letter X. Okay? We are looking at how to write it out. Now, and after you have multiplied that certain number by 3, they went ahead to say, and then, that means after you have done that, increased by 3. What does it mean? Plus addition. We say that increased means addition. Now, the result is, and I say whenever you see the result, what we use is equal sign. So we underline this place, they say the result is 22 and use equal sign. How then do we use all these things? Remember, this certain unknown number, the certain is the unknown number, the certain number. Now, we have multiplied it by 3. So writing it out, the unknown number is multiplied by 3 and the 3 multiplied by x is going to give me 3x. We are now trying to establish mathematical equation from the word problem, interpreting English language into mathematical equation. All right? That is what we call word problem. And it is a very big challenge to our students worldwide. Whether you are preparing for 11 plus, whether you are in your key stage 3, 4, whether you are preparing for GCSE, higher, or WAEC. Okay? It has been a challenge. Now, 3x, that is 3 multiplied by x. The next says, then increased by 3. Increased by 3. Therefore, sorry, increased by 7. Therefore, we write plus 7. Remember, we said that increased by 7. We use plus there. And the result is 22. We put equal sign 22. At this point, that English language has been translated into mathematical equation. Usually, if you give our students this type of simple 1 stage or 2 stages simple equation, they normally solve it and get the correct answer. But the problem is establishing that equation. Translating that English language into mathematical equation, that has been the major challenge. But those secret codes, we need to understand the mathematical signs that are normally used to interpret them. Therefore, what do? We subtract 7 from both sides. That is 3x will now be equal to 22 subtract 7, because plus 7 by the left has gone to the right-hand side and becomes minus 7, negative 7. Therefore, what I have next is 3x will now be equal to 22 subtract 7 is going to give me exactly 15. What do I do next? I divide both sides by 3 in order to get the actual value of x. So here is divided by 3, here is divided by 3, and what will happen? The value of x now is going to be 5 because 3 divided 15 will give me 5. What does it mean? That the certain number, remember you call the certain number letter x. Look at it here. You labeled the certain number, you underlined it as letter x. So that certain number that you are looking for, look at what the question asks you. Find the number. We have now found the number, and that number is 5. To interpret it better, if you now look at this way, okay, that the certain number is 5. Now, it is multiplied by 3, and then increased by 7, and the result is 22. If you now do 3 multiplied by 7, you get 15, and when you add 7 to it, you get the result, which is now 22. All right. This is for 11 plus and key stage 3, those in their junior secondary or preparing for entrance examinations into secondary schools. All right. How then do we see the question if you are in WAEC GCSE level? Maybe foundation and you are in your SS2 preparing for WAEC or for your GCSE maybe in a year time. You begin to see questions such as this, okay? The length of a rectangular playground is 5 meters longer than its width. If the total perimeter of the playground is 50 meters, find its actual width. Now, how do we write it out? This type of question, when it comes, the best approach using this as an example under this level 2 is for you to draw a rectangle, which is what you know. Okay, this is the shape of a rectangle. You sketch it. And they said, watch out, the length of a rectangular playground is 5 more or 5 longer. Remember, when you see more, it is plus. When you see longer, it is also plus. 5 more or 5 longer than its width. Represent the width of the rectangle as letter W. Now, you add, remember, more, longer means plus, okay? This place we have longer, it means plus. What does it mean? Add 5 to W and it will now make up your length, meaning W plus 5. That is it. Remember, we are referring in this question to a rectangle, a rectangular playground. And the width, which is W, okay? When added with a 5, we give you exactly the length. So the length is more than the width by 5. The length is longer than the width by 5. Meaning, if you add 5 to the width, you get the length. That is the meaning. Also, they said the perimeter of the playground is 50 meters. Now, we are asked to find the length and width, the dimension of the rectangle. See what we are going to do. What is the meaning of perimeter? Perimeter means addition of all the corners of the figure. In this case, rectangle. It has 4 corners. When you add all the 4 sides of this rectangle, that's what we call perimeter. Therefore, perimeter now is equal to the 2 opposite widths. That means W plus W. W here and W here, because 2 of them are equal. Plus the 2 opposite lengths. That means W plus 5 for this one, and the opposite of it is also equal to it, okay? 2 of them are equal. Another W plus 5. All right. This is what will give you exactly the perimeter of the rectangle, okay? So going by that, remember we are interested in this question to find the width and the length of this rectangle. What do I do now? Perimeter, therefore, will be equal to W plus W is 2W, plus another W is 3W, plus another W is 4W. So I got 4W here, 4W. Then 5 plus 5 will now be 10 plus 10. Okay, and they said The perimeter is given to me as 50 meters. Can you see it? Therefore, where there is perimeter, I will replace 50. So that perimeter that I'm looking for is equal to 50 meters, which is now equal to 4W plus 10. What will you do next? Take 10 from the left to the right. That becomes 50. Okay? Subtract 10 will now be equal to 4W. What do you do next? What you will do next is this. Okay? Now, if I subtract 10 from 50, I am going to get 40 equal to 4W. What next? Divide both sides by 4 so that the value of the width will come out. Therefore, W is equal to 4 divided 40 will give me exactly 10. What does it mean? That the width of that rectangle is 10. And the length of the rectangle will now be 10 plus 5, which is now going to be for me equal to 15. And when you apply this, you will see that exactly it is going to give you the answer. So what is the perimeter going to be? This place now is 15, the length. The opposite of the length will also be another 15. Okay? Now the width is 10. The opposite of the width is also 10. And when you add it up, 15 plus 15 is 30. 30 plus 20 is 50. So that will give us 50 meters. Can you see it now? That is the word problem. Okay? So for those in their key stage 3, those in their key stage 4, those in their SS1, SS2, these are the type of word problems you see. Depending, those who are preparing for GCSE foundations, these are the type of word problems you see. Okay? Understand the examiner's secret codes, what those words represent, when to use plus, when to use multiplication, when to use addition, okay? And so on and so forth. Now let's see the type of word problems we see in the re-exam papers. Like if you are preparing for GCSE higher, WAEC external exams, okay? You want to write WAEC exams. So we go to level 3. All right. In this level 3, look at it, and it says the Masterclass is what I termed it. GCSE higher, WAEC elite. A tutor sells an exam preparation ebook. The profit made from selling X copies of the book is given by the formula profit equals to 15x subtract 120. Look at it. Profit is written. Profit, the equation given by the examiner. So the examiner in this question has already given you the equation. You are not formulating the equation again. So profit is equal to 15 multiplied by x, that is 15x, then subtract by 120. It means that you are going to use examiner's equation given to you in the question. Higher GCSE questions, you see this. WAEC exams, you see this. Okay? So now, and the question says, calculate the number of copies that must be sold to make a total profit of 480. It can be $480. It can be 480 pounds. It can be 480 naira. But remember what they called it, a total profit of 480. What then do you need to do? Using the, see, how we write it out is what I'm talking about now. Using the already given equation by the examiner, okay, by the exam board who set this question. They are giving the equation. Now go to that place that is profit and replace it with what? 480. Since they say the total profit is 480. Now on the profit side, I will now write profit 480 equals to 15x subtract 120. Just add 120 on both sides of the equation. What do I mean by that? You go to the right-hand side, you add 120. You go to the left-hand side, you add 120. That means I'm going to have 480 plus 150 will now be equal to 15x. Why? Because if I add now here, if I come to this place now and do plus 120, you can see that this minus 120 and plus 120 will cancel out. That is what we are talking about. So what next? I will add 180 and 480 and the 120. And when that addition is done, 480 plus 120 will give me exactly 600. So I got 600 equal to 15x. Divide both sides by 15, divide the left-hand side by 15, and also divide the right-hand side by 15. What then will happen after this is done? You will see that 15, we cancel out 15 here, leaving you with x equal to 600 divided by 15, which is exactly 40. Remember, what does x represent in the equation? X represents the number of copies that must be sold. Look at it here. He said the profit made from selling X copies. Look at the place, X copies of the book. Okay, X copies of the book. Look at it. So here now, you see it now. So X copies. So the number of copies that will be sold to make a profit of 480 is 40 copies. Meaning, if you sell 40 copies, you can get 40 copies. You can get $480 or 480 pounds or 480 naira. So that is what we are talking about. Remember, finally, as I end this video, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you are preparing for 11 plus entrance exams, okay, for grammar schools, all right, you can head to my playlist called 11 plus exam prep in my YouTube channel. My name is Tutor Cletus Okoli, okay? So you see 11 plus prep exams. If you are in your foundations, maybe key stage 3, key stage 4, I also have a playlist for that. You see this type of word problems, re-exam past questions that we have explained, that I have explained. Then if you are preparing for your GCSE higher or WAEC, I also have their respective playlists in my YouTube channel. Okay, I have the playlist that is called GCSE higher tier. Okay, for those in UK preparing for GCSE hires. And then I have the one for past WAEC past questions. I called it WAEC 2026 playlist. All right. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe.